God bless America, huh? Isn't this a wonderful day to be here and to celebrate this great day? You know, freedom isn't free. And before I go more into that, I want to say thank you to Clyde, your bride, the distinguished guests that are here, my colleagues that are here that serve in the Senate and also in the House. And that's the real hero right there, Representative Lawrence. I do appreciate your mentorship, sir, and I appreciate your patience with me as I learn the system. So please give your round of applause to all those who've been up here before. Also, I want to thank my bride, my sweetheart. For the past 15 years, she has been with me through thick and thin, through deployments. She has raised our 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl, and then often she has done it alone because of my job has taken me away. So, Christy, I love you so much. Thank you for all you have done for me. None of this is possible without you, our Heavenly Father. So thank you. And to our veterans that are sitting in the audience, I have a Gulf War veteran right there. Thank you, ma'am, for your service, and we are grateful to that. Thank you.
Amen.
So freedom isn't free. When President Lincoln signed the proclamation 150 years ago, 40,000 Black Americans served in the Civil War. They knew the price of freedom. They understood that with the stroke of the pen and the executive order that the work wasn't done. They knew for generations to come that it was important that they set the standard and they made an example for us all to follow. Now, as you look around this park, we see kids playing together of all races, of all ethnic backgrounds. So the change that he made 150 years ago wasn't just for us here sitting at this event. As we drive down the streets of Phoenix, or I drive down the streets of Holbrook or Snowflake from where I'm at, or in places where I have served around the world in Bosnia and Kosovo, in Iraq, in Russia, freedom rings to those certain individuals also, and we have an example right here. Our country, the liberties that we have in our country are given to us as a gift by the founders of our country. It is important that we remember that the founders of our country gave us a document of the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence. It is our responsibility, not just as Republicans, or Democrats, or Independents, but as Americans, that we protect that document for our children. We are under attack. We are under attack from those who would want to destroy our country, our way of life, and the very principles on what our country was built on. It is up to us as Americans to understand the fight that lays before us. It is up to us as Americans, not just as Republicans or Democrats, but as Americans, to take up the mantle that President Lincoln handed us through his generations. As we move forward in the next election to come, it is our responsibility to make sure that our voices are heard and the message is transmitted. It is also our responsibility to keep God in our life. Because without God, without Heavenly Father, which our country was built on, because the founders embedded that, we are nowhere and we are lost. We can no longer afford to fight each other as Americans as dead in the Civil War. Though we have folks from the right and the left, we have created our own Civil War, where brother against brother fought each other, and in some cases, killed each other. Though we are not picking up arms and we are not firing at each other, we are in a typical similar state. We have to understand that just because someone has a different ideology a different opinion of how they see this country, that we cannot grant them no less of the love that they feel for our country. It is up to us to show up at the table with ideals and solutions to change their mind or maybe learn something. I am grateful to be an American. I am grateful that my parents raised me in an environment that taught me accountability, responsibility, character, and most of all, love of country. Like many other veterans, my parents, my father served in the United States Air Force for 26 years. My grandfather also served as a Tuskegee Airman. My great-grandfather also served, and my great-great-grandfather was an infantryman in the Union Army. I say that to you not to boast about my family pedigree, but I say that to you because they knew that much more was at stake than the color of their skin. They knew that in order for me to live, to be able to live in a society that is free of oppression and free of discrimination and a lack of opportunity, they had to serve. That's why I ask each and every one of you to pick up the mantle and serve in whatever capacity that you can do it in. Reach out to those who are not hearing our message. Educate those who think that the message that they are trying to portray on this country may be one of tyranny, and show them the light. But do it with respect and dignity. I have a favorite president, and he happens to be a Democrat. He was assassinated some years ago in Dallas. John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." He also said, "Why go to the moon? We go to the moon not because it is easy, we go to the moon because it is hard." Why save our country? Why make hard decisions on the legislative body and on the floor for the people of Arizona and for the United States of America? Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. God bless you. God keep you. And may God continue to bless the United States of America.
Yeah. Hear, hear.